Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, American Siege. Yes, another Bruce Willis movie. It's like one a week, it feels like. So, him and Timothy B. Murphy is in it. So they're both advertised. I don't see anybody else in it. It is only a 3.6 on IMDb. Really? Is it that bad? 708 people have rated it so far. So not a high number of ratings, but still kind of low for that many people. 3.6. So fingers crossed. I think it's him. He's an ex-New York police officer who becomes a sheriff in a small Georgia town where a gang or thieves come and kidnap a very wealthy man. That's all I know. Except for it's also an hour and 30 minutes long, so perfect for a weeknight. So let me get into it. I'll find out what it's about, give you a better idea, let you know what I think. Stick around. Bruce Willis. I'll be back. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of American Siege. No check-ins because it took a little while to figure out exactly everything that was going on, and so let me help you with that. Won't spoil it for you, but essentially one guy gets out of prison and then immediately he gets with another girl and a guy and they storm this one guy's house, right? So ultimately what they're doing is the guy who got out of prison, his girlfriend has gone missing. 10 years ago. He was in prison for 10 years. So 10 years ago she went missing and he got sent to prison. And then he teams up with his girlfriend's sister and brother to storm this house to find out what happened to their sister, essentially. And they say that the guy's house that they go to is the last person who's seen her alive. So that's all they wanted, right? The guy comes right out of prison, goes right there to figure this out. So it becomes like they go in to try and get information from him. It becomes a standoff. Bruce Willis is the sheriff. The guy's just a pharmacist. He's not the wealthy guy. The wealthy guy is another guy who just controls everything, right? And Bruce Willis kind of works for him, even though he's a sheriff. You know, the rich guy tells him exactly what to do, kind of thing. But ultimately that's all they want. They don't want money. They don't want anything else. They just want to know what happened to Bridget. That's really the whole plot of the movie. And that's kind of unfolding throughout, so they're trying to learn all this stuff, and you figure all this other stuff out, like who's who, but it's not going to spoil it. It doesn't really do anything. It's just the way that they told the story. So I helped you understand it right from the beginning. So interesting plot line. It all takes place at this guy's house for the most part. Some flashbacks and stuff like that, but as far as the movie itself, good and short, interesting kind of action siege hostage movie, with some action. Now there's a lot of bad acting through all of it, except for the two that I mentioned before, Bruce Willis and the other guy. They weren't awful, but the rest of them, even the three that go into the house, and then the mercenaries that show up, they don't have the best acting skills, or they actually didn't act that well in this movie, I'd say. And then the dialogue. So it could be one of two things. I always struggle. Is it bad acting or is it bad dialogue? I don't know. But maybe a little bit of both is in this. There's some times where there's some things that were said. It was I don't know. Could have been maybe said differently or not included and all that kind of stuff. So. But not terrible, I'm probably being nitpicky and maybe a little critical on it, but, not a terrible film at all. I'm just trying to point out some of the things that, whatever. There's some things where, I wouldn't say holes, it's just like, I don't know, like, there's an opportunity for somebody to run, right, and they literally run. Instead of like getting in a car and taking off. Like that was like odd to me. And I don't know. Some of it is just a little off, you'll see when you go to watch it. So I'm not saying not to watch it. I mean, this isn't probably the worst Bruce Willis film I've ever seen, that's for sure. Obviously not the best, but good enough to entertain me on a weeknight for an hour and a half. So I'd probably give it a 5. Is what I'm going to give this one. So, and I remember ex-NYPD officer turned sheriff, right? That's what it said in IMDb. I see it on the screen now. I don't remember the mention of him have anything to do with New York City. So maybe that was somewhere else. I missed it or something. Or that's really what they do on IMDb, is give you a little bit more insight than you're actually going to get from the movie. I didn't pick up on that little detail throughout the whole movie. So that's a little extra nugget for you if you do decide to watch it. But that's it. That's all I got for you. I don't know if I was helpful or not, but at least I got to watch a movie and tell you a little bit about it. So thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.